Well, what do we have here? A brand new poll out showing that a whopping 71% of all NATO members are ready to go to war with Russia. Are they out of their minds? Have they not seen what's happening in Ukraine? What makes them think that they can take on Russia? It's one thing to send weapons and ammunition, quite another to actually engage in combat. You know, it's all very well to send drones and tanks, but when it comes down to it, you don't want your own people getting blown up. But then again, we're talking about politicians here, not the average man on the street. They've got their own agendas and their own interests to look after. The poll in question was conducted by the Chicago Council of Global Affairs. They asked people in 28 different countries, including NATO members and EU members, whether they would support going to war with Russia over Ukraine. And the results were pretty interesting, to say the least. So in terms of the NATO members, the most enthusiastic ones were Poland, the Baltic states, and the UK. They said that they would be very likely or extremely likely to support going to war with Russia. Now, this is hardly surprising. Poland has been saber-rattling for quite some time now. They've been supplying weapons to Ukraine, and they've been talking tough about Russia. The Baltic states are in a similar boat. They've also supplied weapons to Ukraine, and they've also been very critical of Russia. As for the UK, well, let's not forget that they're still riding high on their imperial past. They think that they're the fifth Beatle, and so they're always going to be up for a good scrap. You know, they like to think of themselves as the fifth Beatle. They're always up for a good fight. Sorry, let me rephrase that. They're always up for a good scrap. The other NATO members are a bit more measured in their response. They say that they would support going to war with Russia, but only if it came to it. Only if it came to it. Yeah, right? As if the last 6 months hasn't been bad enough. Just imagine what it would be like if these NATO countries actually went to war with Russia. It would be absolute pandemonium. Absolute pandemonium. And what about the EU countries that aren't in NATO? Well, they're even more enthusiastic about fighting Russia. The most enthusiastic being Finland, Sweden, and Ireland. Ireland, of all places, is apparently ready to go to war with Russia. Over Ukraine, the Irish are notoriously neutral. They don't even have a military. But sure, why not? Let's get those tanks rolling and those troops on the ground. Why not? So yeah, this is the state of play. Thus, the West is getting more and more involved in this conflict. And it seems like there's a real appetite for actually engaging in direct military action against Russia. And we can only hope that cooler heads will prevail. We can only hope that in the end, common sense will prevail. Now, what do you think of this poll? Are these countries out of their minds, or is it just me? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching.